Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Last episode, conclusion of this series, at least, the first one, starring Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, and a ton of other talent. This was good. The show was good. I was a little nervous when it started because I was thinking, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're not going to mesh. But luckily, I was wrong with that. I want to say this. Where the heck is D-Man? Man, I thought for sure he was going to show up. In the comics, he's a big part of the whole super soldier thing. And at least with the power broker, but he doesn't make any appearances whatsoever. So there's that. There's going to be spoilers. Let me say that. But I'll mark when the spoilers start. So last episode before this one, we see that John Walker has had his shield taken they're taking the shield from him. And we see that the title of Captain America has been taken from him. He's about as down as he gets. We saw Elaine, the Contessa show up, Val, and she's like, don't worry about it. We got other plans for you. She never really says who we is. She's S.H.I.E.L.D. She's also Hydra. And she's also Leviathan. So I don't know. And she's also a Russian agent. So she's playing the field. So I guess he's working for the U.S. government. But is he? Will he be? So in this episode, Sam finally opens that case. No Dora Milaje in this episode. I was kind of hoping, but no. But Sam opens the case. And inside the case, of course, is the Captain America Falcon outfit. I liked it. I liked it in the comic books. I thought it was a bold look. I liked it even more on TV last night. Yeah, that was a pretty good look. Then he and Bucky have to get together to try to get rid of the last of the Flag Smashers. So there's a big fight. Bucky, Falcon versus the Flag Smashers. He invites a little help. Spoilers will start here. So Batroc really wants to kill the Falcon. Seems like he'd really want to kill Captain America, but he really wants to kill the Falcon. And he tries really hard. And he's a regular dude that works out, trains, learned martial arts, probably savate or something like that. And he's kickboxing the crap out of Sam. Sam does a good fight because this dude fought Captain America, the Captain America, and held his own for a couple of minutes. So he's a tough dude. And Sam gave him the business, like you would expect. Walker just kind of walks up there. He just kind of walks up. He just kind of walks up there, and he's like, nodding at everybody, and they're like, "Come on." I'd be like, "Didn't you get fired?" I mean, if you go to work at McDonald's, and Joe trips and throws hot grease on the floor, and everybody slips and breaks their legs, and they're like, "Joe, you'll never work here again." And then the next day, Joe shows up and he's just like, "I'm on fries. I've got this." And you'd be like, "No, Joe, you don't." That's McDonald's. This dude was a government agent, the highest public government agent. He got fired, and the next day he just showed up for work. Was like, he was in his uniform. And he had a shield that he made at home, DIY style, hammer and nails, and put it together himself. And it, for the most part, that worked. I mean, it got banged up and dented up, but I was thinking to myself, that's not bad. How did he get the weight right? Not just the size. He looked at it and everything, but did he study it so that he knew the exact size and the weight and the exact curvature, so when he throws it, because it's not a giant frisbee, even though people call it a giant frisbee, it's not. It's proportioned a specific way. He had to have made that exactly the way the other one was in order to throw it the same way he threw the other one for him to get the same results. And I'm like, wow, this dude's a genius or something. But anyway, he's joining the fight and they allow it. I kind of would allow it too, because he's got superpowers and you kind of want him on your side. If there's a lunatic in a fight, you want him standing next to you, not in front of you. So there's that. Carly has decided that she's going to go to this UN-esque type place and she's going to catch everybody. But then when she realizes that there's people there to stop her, she figures, well, we'll just kill them. It'll send the same message. I don't think the other flag smashers were 100% on board with her, because they were kind of looking at each other like, did she say we're going to kill everybody? And I don't really understand that, because they've been killing people already. But she decides she's going to kill everybody. And Sharon Carter comes in, all Wonder Woman style. She's the secret weapon to the team. She's also the power broker. I know you know it. We all know it. Everybody looked at the show. We was all like, she's a power broker. And she is. Or she's at least the face of the power broker, and the power broker is somebody else, and she's the face of the power broker. But I'm thinking she's the power broker. I heard somebody say that perhaps the Mandarin is the ultimate power broker, because in the trailer for Shang-Chi, when Shang is getting ready to fight and getting ready to knuckle up with some other guys, behind him is the Madripoor sign, the symbol that's on their cars and everything, their flag, their emblem for that island country. Behind him also is some lights that's reminiscent of Madripoor. So they're thinking if he's there fighting, perhaps the Mandarin has, his hooks in Madripoor, and if so, maybe he's the power broker. I don't know. Sharon thinks that she is, but it'll be interesting to see where this goes, where it leads us, where it takes us. I'm digging the trail that they're leaving. So Sharon is the power broker, man. She gets back good with the American government, and she makes a phone call and was like, yeah, not just power broker stuff, but I'm going to be able to get, all kinds of tech and stuff. Now I'm going to be able to get a whole bunch of stuff to sell on the black market. Where does one find the black market? Is there like an internet channel for that? Is there an alley that one goes down? How do you find the black market? You always hear about it. Where's it at? Not that I want to go there and get like some free DVDs or nothing like that. I'm just saying, just wondering. But anyway, so she's the power broker. John walks out. There's Easter eggs at the end of this. John walks out and Val talks to him and she's like, America doesn't need another Captain America. When we call you, America's going to need a U.S. agent. And everybody was expecting it. I was expecting that from the first episode. Everybody was expecting it. So he is now officially the U.S. agent with the official U.S. agent costume, but he doesn't have a shield yet. So they got to get him a shield. Cap's shield is a special alloy. The shield that they get for the U.S. agent, I believe, was vibranium, pure vibranium. So, don't know how they're going to do that. But it'll be interesting. Maybe they had a prototype shield that they didn't give to Cap because the weight was off or something, and they give it to him. I don't know. But it's interesting to see what happens. Also in the comic, the U.S. agent, who is deadly, 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 is slightly strong. He's a lot stronger than Cap and a bunch of the other guys. Also, the U.S. agent, because he's not just physical perfection, he's actually superhuman. So he also is trained in how to fight and use that shield by the Taskmaster, who is going to show up in the Black Widow movie, which makes me think if he's not in that movie, Taskmaster's probably going to survive because he's got to train this guy, teach him how to fight, because clearly he's a brawler, I enjoyed the Falcon as the new Captain America, because they kept calling him Black Falcon, which was a thing people did back in the comic books. But he is in fact telling people, no, I'm Captain America. And he with those wings, I mean, because he was good with the wings anyway, but now with the wings and with the shield, and I'm wondering what it's made out of, because the suit, because there's a bomb that goes off and he wraps himself up in the wings and he doesn't die. You know, the bomb blows up and it doesn't do anything to him. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay. My final thought, the Raft. All of these villains are going to the Raft. The Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movies there. Zemo is there. A bunch of people. And I'm thinking they're you know, the Thunderbolts, because Thunderbolt Ross controls the Raft. All these villains are going to the Raft. And in the comic book, the Thunderbolts are a group of villains who become heroes to take the place of, challenge the Avengers. They're supposed to be an equivalent to the Avengers. And they're a bunch of villains. So I'm thinking Thunderbolt Ross is going to do this. He's going to pull from there. So, and they're definitely going to use the Abomination, because he titled Hulk and Thor a couple of 30 megaton nuclear warheads. So if he thinks that they're very powerful, both of the two of them, he's going to need somebody like that on his team. Maybe the armor that Sebastian Stan had in the Iron Man movie, the Iron Mongler. Maybe his armor. Stan's probably not going to be piloting because, you know, he's dead. But the armor still exists. And the Abomination, the two of them together, yeah, that'll equal the odds between them and most other people. But I'm curious how they're going to do that. And eventually, they're going to have to do a Dark Avengers and a Young Avengers. There's a lot of spin-offs, West Coast Avengers, a lot of spin-off of the Avengers teams. And I'm curious, and I dug this. I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed the whole season. So I am going to give this episode and the entire season 8 bags of popcorn. 8 bags of popcorn, man. Because that's what I think about that. Now that you've heard what I've got to say, let me hear what you've got to say. Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.